Hello dear children. Now in this video we will discuss about chapter number 9, impact of agricultural and industrial practices on the ecosystem. Okay. So we all know that we are dependent on the ecosystem, that is our surrounding, okay, for survival and sustaining of our lives. And our ecosystem, it consists of plants, animals and living things in a particular area along with the physical environment. By physical environment, we are referring to the environment which is external to us. Okay, that's the physical environment. Okay, in which the non-living things are also included. Okay, that's the abiotic factors or the elements. Okay, like rivers, okay, mountains, okay, your topography, okay, your geographical areas and all. So that's your physical environment. Okay, so we as human beings, okay, we are dependent on the ecosystem. Okay, and other plants and animals are also dependent on the ecosystem for their survival and growth. They are dependent on the physical environment, and this, it forms a system which is known as ecosystem. Okay, now uh, this system has been degraded. Okay, this system has been adversely affected by the human intervention. Okay, now with the advancement in the technology, we are uh, throwing garbage. Okay, throwing garbage on our environment. Now what kind of garbage we are throwing? This garbage is actually out of the technology. Okay, we all are using mobile phones. We all know that, isn't it? And this mobile phones, it it has some kind of radiation. Okay, and because of these radiations, uh, so many birds and butterflies are affected. It has been reported by the scientists that many species of butterflies have become extinct or are endangered just because of this radiation, okay, which is emitted through the mobile phones and the mobile phone towers. So that's the kind of the negative impact we are causing to our environment. Okay, now the meaning of ecosystem. What do you mean by ecosystem? By ecosystem, we mean a type of a system which consists of plants, animals and other living things which exist and survive together while adjusting to their physical environment. By adjusting to the physical environment means that if it is raining, okay, so according to the rainy season, the organisms will respond, okay, and if it is winter, then the organisms, including plants, animals, and the human beings, they respond accordingly. So whatever the changes are there in the physical environment, they adjust according to it. Okay, so they respond accordingly. Okay, features of ecosystem. What are the characteristics or the features of ecosystem? Number one, in an ecosystem, each organism interacts with the other and with the environment in a variety of ways. We have already studied in biology that there is a food chain. Okay, one organism is eaten by the other one. Okay, for example, plants, they are eaten by herbivores like sheep, let us say. And now this sheep or deer, it will be eaten by the carnivores. Okay, and there is the type of a organism which falls under both the categories. They are called omnivores. Okay, which eat both plants and animals. That is human beings. We eat both vegetables and the meat, isn't it? So there is a kind of a food chain that we can see out here in this. Okay, so because of the ecosystem, there exists the food chain, or you can say a food wave also. Okay, now number two, living organisms are influenced by their physical environment, such as land, water, air, soil, and rocks. As I've already explained out here, that the organisms will respond accordingly to the change in the physical environment. Okay, let me just give you one simple example. Uh, the peoples living in the hilly areas are accommodated with that environment. Okay, they are familiar with the cold weather. But if they have to come to the plain areas, then they will suffer. Okay, they will not be comfortable with that environment. Why? Because they have a habit of living in the hilly region. Okay, and the same thing. Now let's just make this example reverse. If a person who is living in Delhi or UP or MP, if they have to go to Shimla, Manali, or if they have to come out here in our place, then they will be uncomfortable in the beginning. Okay, because their lifestyle, okay, their body, I mean the physiology or whatever the body movements, okay, or the body structure or the habit, you say, okay, of living in that plain area is already in their system, isn't it? But if they have to come to the hilly areas, they will suffer. Okay, they will be uncomfortable. Okay, they will feel irritated in the beginning. Okay? However, they will enjoy the weather and the scenic beauty, but it will be difficult for them to survive in the hilly regions. Okay, now let's talk about fish. Okay, so the fish, uh, we all know that they live under water. Okay, but can they survive on the land? No, it's not possible. Okay, and now can we survive inside the water? No, we don't. Okay, and let's talk about air only. We breathe in oxygen, isn't it? So we need oxygen for the breathing. So without oxygen, do you think that we can survive? No, we cannot. So this physical environment, it affects the living organisms. Okay, it influences the living organism. Number three, all living things in an ecosystem are grouped as a community. Yes, the community, now you can refer it to as a society. Okay, so this community, it can be of your plants, animals, okay, insects, microorganisms. Okay, so this community is made up of a group of the same kind of living organisms. Okay, now plants, let's just talk about the plants. So there is a common feature in all the plants, in all the green plants especially, that they make foods by the process of photosynthesis, isn't it? So this kind of feature, it can be seen in the ecosystem. Okay, now point number four, each organism, like plant or animal in an ecosystem, has its own role to play. Yes, all these organisms are playing their part, okay, playing their own role in the ecosystem. Plants, they are responsible for the generation of oxygen, isn't it? And animals, they have their own importance in the environment. So each and every single organism, they have their own specific role to play in the ecosystem. Okay. Now these are affected by the human actions. Okay. And we will discuss the two main human actions which has affected the ecosystem. And these two actions are agricultural and industrial practices. Okay. Now let us see what are the impact of agricultural practices on the ecosystem. Number one, changing patterns of land use, and it causes deforestation and loss of topsoil. This agricultural development, okay, this agricultural development has caused drastic change in the land use and the patterns all over the world. And whenever we talk about the agricultural development, we are actually referring to the advancement of the technology. Okay. Now, previously, we used to follow the traditional method of farming. Okay, we used to use animals. Okay, we never used fertilizers before, but at the present scenario, we are using machines. Okay, harvesters. Okay, water pumps, okay, and the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and the insecticides. Okay, this has caused a lot of changes. Okay, and you can say this changes a drastic change which has been observed all over the world. Okay, in fact, some uh, areas are being deforested. Why? Just for the use of the agriculture purpose, because they have no place for the agriculture. Because we know today that two main types of crops are being produced. That's your food crop and the commercial crop. Okay, and for the commercial crops, uh, we can give the example as cotton. Let's say cotton. So cotton uh, is a commercial crop. Okay, so for agricultural activities, we need huge amount of land. Okay, we need a vast area. So for that, we have cut down many trees. Okay, so the cutting down of the trees, it leads to the deforestation. Okay, and we all know that when there is deforestation, whenever we are cutting down the trees, it leads to the soil erosion. Okay, so the top soil will be removed. That's why we have observed landslides. Okay, and the change in the pattern of that particular area. Desertification. Now this desertification is actually the gradual process of the normal land into a desert area through human actions. And how this is possible, how it can be possible? It is possible through agricultural practices. Okay, but if we are using faulty agricultural practices, then the soil will become unproductive. Okay, And when the soil is unproductive, then it becomes into a desert. Okay, so the normal uh, area of land can be converted into the desert area. Okay, point number three, construction of large dams. Now, this construction of large dams also it causes the negative impact on the ecosystem. Now, how it can cause the negative impact on the ecosystem? Now, the normal flow of the river will be obstructed by constructing dams, okay, and the water will be uh, it will be held, okay, and when you hold a large quantity of water in one particular area, then the water level will rise up, okay, and this increase in the water level, it can be very dangerous, okay. You must have noticed during this Dasai holidays, okay, Dashera holidays, that the level of Tista River, it was very high. In fact, the water it came on the road. Okay, you must have watched the news, by the way. So this kind of construction of dams are quite, you know, they have the economic advantage. Okay, yes, it is true. They have the economic advantage, but it is causing the negative impact on the environment. So that aspect it should be looked after. Okay. Now, point number four, commercial agricultural practices using fertilizers and pesticides. Yes, fertilizers and pesticides uh, and insecticides, they, yes, they save the crops from the pests, that is the rats, for example, okay, and from insects, the crops can be protected, okay, and using the fertilizers, we can get the best uh, quality of the vegetables or the crops, but they have the negative impact on the soil. Okay, it causes the decrease in the productivity of the land. Okay, land becomes unproductive. So using fertilizers and pesticides are also not good. That's why Sikkim government, they are like they have promoted organic farming, including the country Sri Lanka. Okay. Now the fifth cause is overgrazing. We all know that the farmers they have large number of cattles, okay, and to feed them is not possible all the time. Okay. So what they do is that they shift the pressure on the grassland areas. Okay, they take their animals for grazing, okay, from one place to the other place, okay, where they can see the grass areas, and if this continues over a long period of time, then that particular area it can become a desert. Okay, so this it can lead to the desertification. Okay, so then if these are the problems, then what are the measures to check the destruction of the ecosystem? Number one, evolving alternatives to large dams. Now, whatever the dams that have been constructed, okay, there must be some kind of alternative way. Okay, so the government should take initiative in evolving uh, economically viable alternative to large dams. so to maintain the ecological balance and well-being of the population of that particular area, okay, where the dams are constructed. Okay, so the government, they should step forward, okay, and they should look after, because constructing large dams, sometimes it can cause problems. For example, if in case of earthquakes, okay, whatever the large quantity of water that a dam is holding, okay, it may come out at once if there's any kind of crack in the dam, okay, in the time of earthquakes. So the people living in that particular area will be affected. Okay, it's very, very dangerous. Okay, even to think about that kind of situation is very, very dangerous. And number two, that is forest conservation. Yes, we must conserve the forest. That's why you must have noticed some kind of placards, okay, or some kind of hoardings, or the notice boards, etc., that is put up in the roadside areas. Save nature, okay, plant the trees, okay. Why we are promoting such kind of activities? Just to conserve the forest areas, because we know that uh, so many trees are being cut down every year just to make your books and the copies and furnitures, okay. And these some of these trees and plants, they have the medicinal use also, but to make medicines, we have to sacrifice thousands of plants every year, okay. So we need to conserve this, okay. Tree plantations, okay. So in addition to the forest conservation, we can add the trees, okay. We can plant more and more trees, so to add more in the number of the trees that we already have in our environment, okay. Now, conservation of grasslands. We have already discussed out here that because of the overgrazing, this area, it can be converted into a desert area, okay. A normal grassland can be converted into a desert area because of overgrazing. So we need to have control over the grazing also, okay, so to conserve the grasslands, okay. And the point number five, we all know this, crop rotation, okay. So alternative cropping or crop rotation, it means to plant the crops in an alternative manner, okay. For example, if you plant rice, then after that you must plant pulses, okay, or wheat, or cotton, or bajra, okay, jawar or jute, etc. So you must not always plant same type of tree in your particular uh, land, okay. So in that piece of land, if you continue to plant the same type of crop, then that land, it will become unproductive, okay. That land will be affected, okay. So to protect that particular land, we must crop the plants in the rotation, okay. And this is called crop rotation, okay. Use of manures. Now, organic fertilizers are called manures, okay. And this consist of green manure, okay, the cow dung and the compost, okay. You know what is compost? By compost, we actually refer to the uh, byproducts of the vegetables, okay, which can be composted, okay. which can be put in the area. Okay, you can dig the area. Okay, you dig a area and you just put all these byproducts of the vegetables. Okay, and you make them decay on their own. Okay, and after that it becomes the manure. Okay, and this process, it happens in nature on its own. Okay, it happens biologically in the nature. Point number 7, use of biofertilizers. Now, by this biofertilizers, we are referring to the use of microorganisms, okay, such as bacteria, blue, green algae, okay, uh, fungi, etc. So we can use such type of microorganisms so to maintain the productivity of the land. Okay, and also the use of the biopesticides, it can do the same thing. For example, to uh, kill the rats, okay, what bio pesticide we can use? The answer is very simple. Uh, we can adopt a cat, isn't it? So a cat will hunt down the rats. Okay, so that's the biopesticide. Okay, now impact of industrial practices on the ecosystem. Now, what are the negative impacts of industrial practices on the ecosystem? Okay, so they are: number one, depletion of natural resources; number B, generation of industrial waste; and number C, environmental damage through pollution. So let us discuss these points one by one. Now, depletion of natural resources. By depletion of natural resources, we mean that the decrease in the quantity of the resources that are already available in the environment to satisfy our wants. For example, exploitation of the mineral resources, like uh, to give the example, I refer to the use of petrol and the diesels. So we keep on mining that. Okay, so we keep on using that petrol, and we already know that in nature there is a fixed quantity of petrol. Okay, scientifically, it can never be made. Okay, as it is found in the state of nature. Okay, it's not so possible. So this industrialization, it is actually exploiting so many mineral resources or the natural resources. Okay, like this uh, phosphorus, you say, for example. Okay, or sulfur. Okay, so these resources are used for the production of the industrial goods. Okay, and in the industry we use steel or iron in the larger quantity, so we are exploiting it. Okay, number 2, development of industries. Yes, if the industries are being set up, then it causes, obviously it causes the negative impact on the environment. By industries, you can simply refer to the factories. Okay, because industries is not only of the factories, but the industries is a place where the raw materials are actually converted into the finished goods. So industry, like Bollywood, for example, or Hollywood. So these are the examples of the movie industries. Okay, so similarly we can have heavy industries like which is dealing in the process of the mining. Okay, so these industries, it cause the negative impact on the environment. Okay, first of all, it caused the negative impact on the health of the workers who are working in that particular industry, and ultimately it affects the environment. Okay, and also this population explosion is also the major problem. I don't know how Elon Musk he said that we must increase the population because after some years the population, I mean the world population, it will deplete. uh, I don't think so. It's not that possible. Okay, it's not so easy. First of all, he is not a uh, not an economist. Okay, he's not a student of geography, so he's just a businessman. So he gave that kind of statement, or it's completely a nonsense. Okay, it doesn't make any kind of sense that we must increase the population of the world. That's nothing, because the industrialists they think customers as the source of their income. Okay, the more the people, the more the demand in the market. Okay, and the more the demand in the market, the more the supply. Okay, and the more the supply means the more the income. Okay, so if there is large number of population in a particular area, it means it is a good market. Okay, it has the potential. Okay, so then the industrialist can sell more of their products in that particular market. So that's why they are thinking about all the time about the population growth. But population growth is not that good for our environment. And this urbanization. By urbanization, we mean the conversion of the rural areas into the urban city. Okay, in the city area. Okay, so when you are converting any rural area into a city area, then that's called urbanization. So urbanization is good, by the way, because you can access many things. Okay, there will be the easy in access of the banking facilities like ATMs. Okay, there will be a better health infrastructure. Okay, then there will be a good communication. Okay, however, you will go away from the nature. If you visit this place, Kolkata, okay, if you go to Maharashtra, okay, Delhi, you can see big buildings are there. Okay, so many ATMs. Okay, 24-hour. I mean, some shops are open. Okay, the people are very busy. Okay, and there is the transport facility also. Whatever you want, you get it instantly. But that's not good. That's actually affecting the environment. Okay, because when so many vehicles are running, they emit carbon dioxide, and this is not good for our environment. This emission of carbon dioxide in a larger quantity is not good for the environment. Okay, now energy generation. Energy, we need electrical energy. Okay, we need the energy from thermal plants. We need energy from the natural fuels, that is petrol, diesel. Okay, and this natural gases. And we need coal also for the generation of energy. But this energy, it adds into the temperature I mean the normal temperature, okay, the temperature of that particular environment. So this demand for the energy, it can be both commercial and non-commercial. First of all, okay, if you need energy for making food at your home, then that's for the non-commercial purpose. Okay, if you want to cook something, let us say if you want to cook rice, okay, you need energy, isn't it? So you will use the gas, or you may use the firewood or the coal, okay. But if you are using these resources for the purpose of commerce or for the economic activity, then that's called the commercial usage of the fuels. For example, if you are cooking rice using the gas cylinder, but this rice is meant for selling purpose, okay, you want to sell your customers, so then that's your commercial use. So we are using so much of energy for the commercial purpose as well as the non-commercial purpose. So when we are using this energy so much, then of course this natural resources will be depleted. For example, cars, okay, uh, we can have car in our home, okay, that's our non-commercial purpose. But we must have seen cars, so many cars, okay, in Kalimpong Bazaar you can see so many cars are there, okay, so that cars are actually for the commercial purpose, isn't it, to carry the passengers from one place to the other place. So if these cars, both commercial and non-commercial, are consuming so much of petrol, now just imagine, don't you think that the reservoir of the petrol present in the nature is depleting day by day, and this petroleum products are non-renewable products, okay, you cannot renew it, okay, till this date scientists have not found the alternative or a particular method to prepare petroleum, okay, to prepare petrol or diesel scientifically, they haven't found yet. So these natural resources are depleting day by day with the increase in the consumption. And this, the sixth point is, yeah, it is one of the problem for the environment, large increase in the number of automobiles. Now by automobiles we mean the trucks, buses, cars, etc. Okay, so the more the number of the automobiles, the more the usage of the petrol and diesels. Now if we continue to use more and more petrol and the diesels, what do you think? Don't you think that the reservoir, okay, or the quantity of the petrol that is present in the nature is decreasing day by day? Yes, it is decreasing, and it is also affecting our environment also, okay, it can cause noise pollution as well as the air pollution, okay. Now generation of industrial waste, yes, factories, they have the waste products, okay, they always have the waste product, and they are looking for a place where to dispose this industrial waste. Some they dispose in the land areas, some they dispose in the water bodies. So what do you mean by the industrial waste? If you are producing steel, okay, so for the steel, for the production of the steel, uh, in the factory they have to do so many processes, okay, there are so many stages, okay, like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So in this stages, or the in the process of making the a good steel, they also produced waste products, and this waste products must be disposed. But where to dispose? That's the main problem. Okay, and this waste products are generated from mining operations. By mining operations, we are actually referring um, to, to the mining of coal, okay, to the mining of the natural, I mean the petroleum products, okay, the mining of the iron ore, okay. So if you keep on mining, then the waste products will be generated, okay, and these waste products, they affect the environment in a negative way, okay. And this waste generated from cement factories, yes, cement factory, it's one of the biggest factory in the world, because so many buildings are being constructed, okay. So every time they need the cement, your house, my house, okay, even our school is made out of cement, okay. So the cement factories, they emit the dangerous waste products which can affect the environment. Point number 3, waste generated from oil refineries. Now the main wastes that is generated from the oil refineries are oil slicks and oil sludge, okay, and both of these are toxic in nature, okay. Now this oil refineries, if they are located at the sea, it cause the oil spill, and so many fish, okay, they die. And this oil spill is not that good, okay. Even if there is oil spill, okay, if it gets spilled on the land area also, uh, it causes fire, okay, it can pollute the groundwater and it can pollute the air also. So this generation of the waste products from the oil refineries are also harmful in nature, okay. Wastes that is generated from the construction units. Now a great deal of waste is generated in the course of construction of buildings and other construction activities. Just visit any place, okay, or you must have noticed in the construction of your own house that so many uh, waste products are generated, okay. So this generation of the waste products is not good, okay. And the waste products, it can be like broken nails or the waste metals, okay, electric wirings, and the waste switches, bulbs, wood, rubber, lead, okay, asbestos, plasterboards, paints, and other additives, etc., etc. So many waste products can be seen from the construction units. So these are actually not good for the environment. Now, impact of waste accumulation. Now, how the waste accumulation, it can cause the negative impact on our environment. Number one, spoilage of landscape. Now, the lack of efficient waste management, it leads to the dumping of waste in the surrounding areas. Okay. In your surrounding, the waste products will be disposed. Okay. So you must have noticed while coming to the school, however, the school is closed now, but you must have noticed before while coming to the school that there is a place, okay, uh, there is a place where the garbage are thrown just like that by the local people. So that's the negative impact, by the way, okay. So that's how we are affecting the environment, because it will be, smelly, okay, that it will cause the bad smell, okay, and because of the spoilage, because of the wastage of that, or the disposal of the waste products in that particular area, uh, that particular landscape will be deteriorated. Okay. Number two, environmental hazards. Yes, accumulation of waste, it leads to the environmental hazards. Okay, that foul smell. Okay, as I already said. Okay, and the decay of the waste, it it fills in the air. Okay, and this attracts so many pests. Okay, flies, insects, etc., etc. Okay, and this will cause the environmental hazard. Okay, now it breeds pollution. Yes, accumulation of waste breeds all kinds of pollution. These wastes can pollute the air that we breathe. Okay, it can contaminate the drinking water also. It can pollute the land areas. Okay, and again, burning that waste also, it leads to the air pollution. So this accumulation of waste in one particular area is actually the breeder of pollution. Okay, it breeds pollution. Okay, it can multiply the pollution. Okay, now health hazards to life. Now industrial and the mining wastes, domestic and municipal wastes, and other type of waste, it can cause serious health problems because these wastes are potentially very harmful. Okay, and they can contaminate water, and they can generate various types of harmful bacterias. Okay, and the chemical wastes also, it gets mixed up with your soil. Okay, and so because of these kind of mixed up of the uh, waste products in the soil and in our environment, that's why we have diseases like uh, this diarrhea, okay, jaundice, okay, typhoids, okay. So this kind of diseases, okay, will be there, and effects of wastes on aquatic life. Yes, industrial and commercial liquid wastes, which it ultimately goes into the water bodies, can cause health hazards to the human beings as well as the organisms that live on the land as well as in water. Okay, so there are so many problems which can cause uh, the negative impact on the environment. Okay, so the uh, remaining topic will be discussed in the next video.